Hey, and welcome to a very technically flawed version of CTO Coffee Hour. Uh, it, I can hear myself. Yeah, so it's definitely not showing our pictures on there or my screen share. So we're having some technical difficulties today. I can't screen share with you. Our faces are in the ether. So
Happy Tuesday.
happy Tuesday.
I do have a coffee right now, and you have your Diet Dr. Pepper. See, we can see each other in the thumbnails, and theoretically, we're on the screen, and we do have one person watching, which I assume is you watching us. So
Yeah, yep. I'm definitely in there. So I have no idea.
StreamYard. If StreamYard, is there anything happening out there?
Look at that. I got our faces on it. How did I do that?
We got a different. Let's change this. I'll change the background. That's for a different thing entirely.
I feel bad for anybody watching this.
No, there isn't.
Well,
anybody,
you do
so
that. I'll
right.
try and explain what's going on with Tech Debt, the video game.
Oh, look at that. You're putting all sorts of things on the screen. Like, subscribe. What are you doing over there, man?
Yeah, please feel free to like and subscribe. We are actually getting to the point where it feels like a real game. And I'm trying to remember the last update I gave, but we added in the concept of sprints, basically, which are levels. And those levels then kind of break up the game. So there's 5 days in a sprint typically, and some sprints, you basically select a product roadmap, which if you're familiar with Faster Than Light, it's like the direction you can go and what level do you want to play next. And I've reworked it a couple times, and it's kind of been minimalized right now to make it so there's maximum replayability. So that way you can select your next levels. We added back in so at the end of sprint 1, you start getting paid, which is a little bit abstract because at the end of sprint 2 is when you actually let users start signing up. So we'll probably play with that dynamic, but then you start accepting PPI data, or PII, personally identifiable information. So in the InfoSec world, it's information about people you really don't want to be getting around the web. It's their personal information, name, address, passwords in some cases. And so you now can get, if a cross-site scripting bug steals that personally identifiable information from you, then you end up with then you end up losing money in that case. I think we're going to tie in something with cybersecurity insurance, or there's going to be some technology.
I like that. Okay, I like that. Can you pay for cybersecurity insurance such that you don't lose as much money should something happen? Okay, so that is a risk versus reward decision, a very real world risk versus reward decision, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something my clients have to weigh out all the time. So I wanted to put that in there. I wanted to make it so you could buff up. There already is input validation, so you could buff up input validation, and it would. I don't want to make it so it doesn't spawn the cross-site scripting bug, because that gives some life to it. But maybe the input validation will be like a laser turret or shoot it or something. I don't know. Something fun that way.
Or does it just lower the coefficient of probability?
I played it that way, and that's the way actually I've currently got it coded. So if you do input validation, you will decrease the chances of a cross-site scripting bug spawning. But if I take away the villains of the games too much, then it's not as much fun there. So it's you almost want to just get a buff on taking it out, or that automates taking it out or something. That's kind of the power of these tower defense games. You build these big automated defenses so the enemies still come charging. And again, you'd still be attacked. People would still try to attack you with cross-site scripting stuff, but you'd be able to detect and blast it away, faster than they could actually, really attack you with that one. So, and I've got sketches for SQL injection attacks. I think that's going to be the next big baddie that we put into this thing. So,
well, shouldn't input validation also help you against that as well?
It would. So that's why I'm
sanitize your input.
Yep, it would help with SQL injections attacks, but they are 2 distinct attacks that I'm going to try and personify in a fun way. So, am I? And
when was the last time I played it? It's Tuesday now.
Couple of days. You did it on Sunday or something, I think it was, didn't you?
Could it be? It could be. days all blurred. I mean, Mondays, Sundays, they're all the same.
Yeah.
No weekends, no weekdays. Everything's about the same.
Yeah. Well, I've got something new for you that I'm experimenting with. If you want to check out, let's see. Can you bump me up to the big screen?
You want to play or you want me to play?
I'll play. I'll play.
All right. There you go.
All right. Hopefully this is
We
on the
are
big
off
screen.
screen.
So many of you probably haven't seen this before, but we added the intro
That's
scene
all
in there.
new. You have an office now. You have an
the
office.
office is new. That's as of this morning I
And
started
you got
playing with.
bugs on the walls, bugs going through the
Yeah.
walls. You got poltergeist bugs.
It's if I go through with the office, which I'm leaning towards right now, and I want the office to be upgradable. I have to redo kind of the XY. They're all on the same plane, so the floor tiles are on the same plane as the wall tiles right now. We can't have that, so I'll have to.
I mean,
fix
perfection
that.
is not the goal insofar as your bugs going through or around the walls. I don't think. Minor detail, in my opinion.
Okay. But the idea is that you'd have an upgradable office, which you start off, in my mind, what I've got right now is you kind of start off in a dorm room or something like that. And then you work your way up to a garage maybe. And then you work your way up to kind of a shady office. And then you work your way up and so on and so forth. So maybe by the end you'd have a couple biomes. And the more room you have, the more you can expand your team. And that'd be a limiting factor on how many.
Perhaps the more goodies you can have in your office as well, be it ping pong is the quintessential startup game, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just added that layer in this morning so you can see it clearly not.
Whoa, big bugs, mega bugs.
Yep. So, and this is the intro background. So my goal here was to give people an idea of how much they can unlock. Because a lot of people probably don't realize how much infrastructure there is to the game. So if I go here and use my magic, there is a significant amount of infrastructure here that you wouldn't see when you first start out. So if you go,
so you want to go over through those different pieces real quick?
Sure.
The chevron.
Yeah, well, so none of them are built yet. But yeah, so you start
What do they
off.
represent?
Yep, you start off with an application server. And then from there, usually the first thing you'll either do is you'll move your images off your application server to binary storage, which right now is S3, but I'm going to probably rework that tile set at some point. And then the other one you've got is RDS, Relational Database Service. Or just basically a dedicated database is what it's called. And so that way, both those two take the load off of your main application server. So this one grants like a 0.25%, like a 25% decrease in load that this thing gets, the application layer, from image packets. And the same thing goes for this one on text-based packets as well and PPI. And then from there, you can unlock a couple different things. You can unlock the CDN here. So this is just binary storage meant optimized for storing the images. This will make it so no images actually hit the application server, which we generally want to reserve the compute for application server for logic related to your business. So that's the way we do it in real life. You'd want a CDN that lives in edge networks, basically parked around the planet, to have your binary stuff so it can get to people as fast as possible. So when I send you a video from AWS, it doesn't actually come from, even if the application layer lives in North Virginia, it doesn't actually come from North Virginia. It comes from the edge network, which means likely for someone like me, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minnesota would be where you're actually getting the video files from. And so that's how CDNs like Cloudflare and AWS's CloudFront all work. Additionally, you probably notice here we've got a series of databases. You can unlock read-write replicas, which is pretty common, where they have one main writer, and then when that writer receives a record, it pushes it out to the readers so they can replicate it. And then when a query comes in, which is just a read-only thing, it can go to the readers and take some of the load off the writer. And so that's a fairly common paradigm. And then we do the same thing with Redis. So if you're not familiar with Redis, or a Val key store, it's optimized not for big queries like you'd see in a database or complex queries. It's optimized more for what is this.
What are your top 10 selling items today? Something that gets hit over and over and over and over.
You got it. Another one is web sessions. What's in their shopping cart? What is an user 1, 2, 3 shopping cart? So you don't have to you're never going to be looking up 50 different users at once, shopping carts via this method. Each user typically only has one shopping cart. So that's that. You've got some of your advanced stuff from here. So if you make it past sprint 2 right now, which is the user personal identifiable information stuff, then you're going to be pushing more towards either email or text notifications, which will give you a bonus to the amount of sales you can make, the amount of, so it basically increases that. Over here, this one's a fun one that we got working. Wow, that really looks bad if you zoom in with everything not built. But this is your code pipeline. This will make it so you don't have to tell the little guy to go deploy your latest to the servers. It'll just automatically happen. So it saves you some time. It's the beginning of the automation stuff. Eventually, we're going to add in test-driven development in here and a couple other things that you can add in that will increase the quality of your builds and therefore the quality of the rewards you get back. These are a bit dated. I haven't washed or dusted them off in a while, but this is this is WAF, Web Application Firewall. And so that will allow you to fend off some of the DDoS attacks you'll see in the later game. Over here, this is the secrets manager. This decreases the likelihood you're going to have a credentials leaked issue. And if you have to cycle them, it's a lot easier and a lot less costly and painful. This is the start of CloudWatch metrics, which is also going to have CloudWatch alarms and a couple different technologies that are going to relate to it that you can upgrade. So that way you can get more visibility into the health of your infrastructure and you won't have, so if something falls over, if you've got CloudWatch alarms turned on, to say this thing needs to be fixed, one of your NPCs will automatically run up and do it. So you don't have to go up and tell it to.
Could it also automatically do scaling? Because right now you have to manually scale.
Auto scaling is on the list of things I want to add. As for in here, I suppose that would be, I'm torn on how exactly I'm going to do it, but this would have to be unlocked before you could do auto scaling. We'll put it that way. So it'll probably be a separate piece of buildable hardware though. This guy right here is AWS Cognito, and I don't know why it's so big. I'm going to rebuild that. But as we get with these DDoS or these SQL injection attacks and these cross-site scripting attacks, this will help limit the damage of PPI, because if you use Cognito, basically, a lot of times people just store a hash password on the database, or if they're really beginnerish, they just store an unencrypted password on the database, and both those two are really bad. So it's
been a while since I've said I forgot my password and it just sent it back to me, but it has happened.
Yeah, too soon, sadly. But either way, this would be you'd research and then deploy hash passwords is going to be something coming up in the very near future. And so that would help with the database. And then you could take that a step further by deploying Cognito, which would give you the ability to basically never release the password, even if you tried. And then over here, let's go back a little bit. I haven't covered the application load balancer. So the application load balancer will make it so you could distribute traffic across multiple application layer servers. So basically each one of these things will take a third of the amount of traffic, meaning that they can handle a lot more incoming traffic that way.
Something you haven't talked about yet, and you're going to go back over to the right, I'm sure, is the goal of this is to make money. And each additional piece of hardware that you spin up or upsize or downsize costs money as well. So it's going to be a balancing act. You don't just spin everything up and max it out because you're going to go broke.
Right. Exactly. And I'm working on the metagame progression. So if you die, there's now challenges that you can unlock, and so things will remain open. I think I've come up with a pretty cool way to, at the end of each game you play, at the end of each sprint, you'll be offered a certain amount of meta currency, like money that will persist between rounds, that you can either walk away with, or you can say, I'm going to try and take it to the next round. I want to gamble on this one. And if you take it away, then you'll be able to spend that and decide which technologies you want to have unlocked and already built when you go to the next round. So you'll be able to say, hey, I want to start with the relational database and the application layer and this already built. I'm going to spend that money that I made from my previous exit to start the next round with that, basically. And so that could be a fun way to make the game more replayable, because you don't want to go through that first, intro, my first server many times over. So, and trust me, I have so many times at this point, but literally thousands of times. But yeah, another thing, I guess the last piece of infrastructure that I've got up here is these two guys over here, is that you can also use event-driven architecture to basically push events to a queue where they will stack up. I don't know why that's not animating right now, but they'll stack up right here, and they can be consumed by a worker, which is very common.
So
if someone makes a purchase,
this could be exactly, somebody makes an order. You don't need to process that real time, but you do need to process it.
Yeah, you want to get the response back to the user as quickly as possible. Then you can also send a notification, basically, or queue up something for a worker to, within a few seconds, typically go and notify the warehouse. Hey, this has got to ship. You notify, the billing software. You send out a thank you email. All that stuff can be done asynchronously, and the user's web page is already confirmed that it all happened. So I'm planning on adding more queues over here, and likely a data lake situation where we can now start adding in some fun AI stuff, probably somewhere over in this range here. So that's how it goes.
I have only unlocked about a half of this stuff, not even, maybe about a half.
Yeah, it's well, you are the one that has to suffer through my rebalancing, because sometimes I make it too strict, and sometimes I make it too easy. So I'm gonna just real quick restart this thing here. And I recently made it so I should have that I made it so that you the money, the meta currency, you'll see in a second here, because I'll start from the top. In case you haven't seen it in a while, I mean, Dom, you've seen it, but I've made it real simple in some ways, where you're going to start off just by researching. I'm tempted to lock them in this room until they've researched the proper technology to exit
Chain
it
them
and
to
build
their
servers.
desk.
Yeah, because there's a lot if you have it all unlocked, there's a lot going on there. So either way, they're doing the research right now. I'm going to tell them to build that server right there. And when you get to a certain point, you can do releases, which that's not new. That probably, I think I worked that one out a few months ago. So software basics, you can release, or you can research. And again, once you've researched it a few times and you've progressed the game, you died a few times, you won't have to research it again. So you've unlocked my first server, meaning that you won't have to research that initial server every time. And here we've got this, which is in front of a door, because I was just figuring out how to line up the doors. And you can do releases now. We've added in some new releases. Oh, we also added in latency. That's one thing I don't think I talked about, is that the server will now stack up latency. So if the load goes up, you see it, I don't have a real-time indicator yet, but I need to add one. If the load on the server goes up high enough, the packets will start slowing down there. But you can do different things to speed it up. You also can do contract work for quick cash. So if you want to get a couple extra bucks, you can do that. You can do tech debt to reduce your tech debt.
What does tech debt do?
Tech debt?
I mean, it is the title of the game, so it has to have a major impact. So you're always accumulating tech debt. That number always goes up, and you have to essentially buy it down by doing a tech debt release, not doing a feature release, but doing a bug fix release.
Yeah. Well, and so
this is a balance in the startup world, right? Like, do you want to get the new feature out, or do you want to fix the broken stuff?
Yeah. So tech debt increases the rate at which bad things happen. So we're at 2.4, basically 240%. But that means that the chances of an attack or a bad guy in a bug popping out of this thing is going to significantly increase until you pay down your tech debt. So I'm going to skip that and go for opt for other stuff. But you could also focus on decreasing the latency caused by high load. You can decrease the load that an incoming image has. So right now we've just got the 2 packets. I don't even see images coming in here. Where are my images at? Oh, you can also see the latency.
Oh!
There's an image. I caught an image. But you
I
can also
saw a
see the
bug. I saw a
latency of the
bug.
packets going by. So in later rounds, the latency requirements are going to get more stringent as your complexity of all your infrastructure increases. So,
And as we know, there is a direct correlation, and we've talked about this Amazon number numerous times in past episodes, but there's a direct correlation between increased latency and decreased revenue.
yep. So it's absolutely that will have an effect on the amount of money you make if if your latency goes too high on a purchase packet, the purchase goes out the window, or you just won't you won't receive it. So I'm going to pick. So I'm leveling up my MPC here. I'm going to pick better coder there, and hopefully they will now increase the quality of these loads. So there's rarities to every single release we do right now. Did I not? Oh, I got to deploy this thing. Sorry. I've got it. So right now I've got to
the
manually.
code pipeline, which we talked about earlier, will do automatically for you later.
Yeah. So once it gets really complex, there'll be tools to help you automate it so you feel better about going. I also released a bug in there somewhere, so I'm going to tell them to debug that. Oh, I should have done it after the release. Dang it. That was foolishness.
No, the release went through, it looks like, didn't it, or not?
No, I think it's still open right now. The bug, I know that because the bugs take priority. I haven't unlocked the Kanban board yet, so I can't tell the NPC, my team member, to prioritize the bug or the other stuff. But if I go back and bother to research the Kanban board, then you'll be able to tell the NPC, hey, I've got a,
prioritization.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I want to survive day 5, launch day, and it's day 4 because I've been rambling. So you're probably going to get a good view of the latency stuff because there's no way I'm going to survive this round because I was ranting on so much. But here's one, the database indexes, you can decrease the amount of latency. So that's better a little later in the game, but I've got it in there right now. I'm just going to let them do their research. So there's half a chance we survive today. And there we go. So let's get building on that, and then we'll upsize this.
And there should be notice on day 5, you're launching your application to the world, and you're expecting a heavier load.
Exactly. So there we go.
All right, you just made it. It's 5 o'clock.
Well, all right, I'm going to go and pick another. I'm going to do sales page optimization, which I recently beefed up. So that actually is going to play a bigger game once the coins come in. So, and I've meta unlocked a couple more things. But you can see right here, we are losing money. Luckily, I think I did a round where I did a contract, so I made a little bit more money. But the attack possibility is really beefing up because of the amount of tech that I've accumulated right there. And the only victory condition for this round is just don't go broke. But eventually, and then if we survive today, there's the little guy saying stuff. If we survive today, then we will hopefully be able to make more money. Oh, and immediately hit with a cross-site scripting attack. So that's the tech debt coming in. And this is the junior version of it. There's the bugs are all like major.
Oh, you have latency too. Look at how slow things are moving.
Yeah, let me move that to regular speed there. So you see that little delay before it goes. That's the latency kicking up on it. And if you watch that, they're getting up to 5 seconds, 6 seconds right now. Or sorry, 600 milliseconds. So it's not that bad right now. But there was a second in there where it was going to be pretty ugly if I didn't do something.
So what do bugs do? You got one crawling around the screen, and actually he's going to do something right here. Oh, he did.
Yep.
He took your package.
Yep, he eats the packages. He'll eat network packets. And if I leave him for long enough without doing something to him, it gets worse. But I'll just let that story tell itself in a minute. I'm going better quarter here, which hopefully will give me higher level releases when I get there. Good. I got another one.
What's falling from the sky in flames?
So those are dropped packets. Either this guy ate them, or some other bug ate them, or they just were dropped. Chances are the bug ate them right now. Yep. So every time the bug eats a package, you'll see, or a packet, you'll see it drop from the sky. Yeah, he's getting pretty hungry because I'm letting him live right now. Deployment complete.
Latency.
Yeah, but luckily, again, Sprint 1 doesn't have a latency requirement that's strict yet. We'll probably, what you'll be able to do is pick different difficulties for starting with, which will apply those later game modifiers earlier on. I'm going to do multi-threaded, so this will help with latency on the application server, which will be nice for the next round. I'm just going to let that bug fester for now because
Because
Yeah, because I want to let you guys see what he turns into there. So, and we'll do user sign up sprint, which is the intended one. Right now you can bypass it, but I think I'm going to
it should be,
try
yeah.
and focus you a little bit more on that, because you shouldn't be able to do mobile notifications or email unless you have PII. So,
And the victory condition is you just don't go broke in the next 5 days.
don't go broke, and you've got to launch the
Completed
technology. I need to make a display, right?
Mhm.
And so we've got a couple other things here. It's a medium difficulty right there. So the launch day traffic is going to be twice as high as normal traffic. So every day your traffic goes up a little bit. And so launch day, we're going to really be getting hit. So it's going to get tough there. On the plus side, I'm assuming, I should double check this, but I should work on this. But the coins, you're going to have twice as many purchases that day as well. So that's nice. I need to make that display better, but here you go. This will allow us to handle personal identifiable information. If that gets leaked, we're in big trouble. So again, you lose coins every time something takes out PII in any capacity there. So
You see you're making some money. Your bug's still eating some. Oh, you got 2 bugs now.
yeah, it's going to come and get me. So we are losing more packets than I would have thought. Oh, we're losing coins. He stole the coin. He ate a coin. That son of a gun. So we'll get that out of the way real quick, that deployment. And then it's just a regular one. But there's, again, higher rarities, which I think I'm going to beef that up a little bit so you get higher rarities more. But we got an uncommon one, actually. So that we get it goes all the way up to legendary if you're a gamer here. But user sign up, login, confirm. So we're going to start working on the exact release we need for this thing. And I think it's the bugs that are eating it, but why is he not evolved yet? I think that might be a problem, because usually they evolve by now, at least one of them. So there is a bug in my game where the NPCs are supposed to leave at the end of the day, and for some reason the bugs do too. I actually know why. I just haven't bothered to fix it. I think it's funny. So, we do have a latency requirement on this one, less than a second latency. So,
I mean, you lost $30 that day, so you've only got another 2 days before you run out of cash here.
yeah. So
maybe 3.
Well, I could downsize this guy, and I'll save us some money real quick. So let's do that.
Or your bugs just stop stealing your packets.
I don't know which one's the older one, because I'd love to kill one of them, so I don't have to fend off 2 of them when the other one evolves here. Kind of spoiling it up, and I got a cross-site scripting attack. So I am gonna start just debugging some of these guys so we don't get completely doomed. But see, I basically have to prioritize that over the current deployment we're working on. So it's all just a giant.
Whoa, what's that jumping around on the screen?
I added a screen shake. I think that's somewhat new. I don't think you've seen the screen.
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, when certain events happen, like the server falls over, or we lose a packet, basically it'll do a little screen shake there. So my guy's leveled up. Better coder. That's good. Deploy.
And you're getting a lot of tech debt.
Yeah, yep. Okay, something's a little off there. The deployment, I must have fallen over during the deployment, so I probably should make that a little less sticky there. But I do want to make it so you can A/B swap on deployments, which will make it so you lose less packets, because a lot of people don't, have, when they first start out, they don't really know how to do deployments and A/B swap things, and so they have to take down production when they do a deployment, and that's a pain. So the end of the day happened, and the guy, the NPC, the girl, I guess, in this scenario, they're randomized, so decided to call it a day while the server's down, which I feel like
I wonder if somebody should work overtime and have some stress induced from that or something.
I have a whole side of this game that's designed for stuff like that. I'm going to detect that right now, that I want to do, but
huge latency.
Yeah. Okay, go back and debug that guy. Oh gosh,
Your
this fell
server
over.
fell
Yeah,
over.
see, I shouldn't have downsized it. It's going to be my demise.
Yeah, you might not make it through today. Past today anyway. Oh, look at that. You're just getting destroyed. You better upsize that immediately.
All right. Upsizing. And the upside, oh, okay, it's an upsize and fix, which is nice. That one's,
that makes sense.
yeah.
But still getting crushed.
So I'm at
You've got,
$13 here. Wow, I
you
can't
ain't
believe
gonna
I'm
make
still
it.
alive.
You ain't gonna make it. No, not it.
But the coins are coming in at a fairly rapid rate right now, but I can't keep the infrastructure up because I've been prioritizing other things. So let's try it again.
I mean, you could upsize again, but
I like it. We're gonna run out of money, but I like it. We're doing it. Do we want to research? There's nothing I can research right now. The only possible saving grace is if I were to get do a contract work for a little bit money.
well, it's
total negative 86. Money failed, so that's it. We're done. So, but the cool part is you can go here and now in the challenges. You can see I unlocked a bunch of stuff. So if I were to go and start again, new game, and if we go to research here, you can see I don't have to research this. I don't have to research that. And now a binary storage is unlocked, and a couple other things will be available to me. So just basically, the more times you play it, the more powerful you get, the more stuff is available to you, and then you can also unlock things.
You get to keep Zelda's sword.
You got it, yeah. So hopefully that'll give people some replayability here. But I have a whole idea for an org chart that's similar to this, but it unlocks things that are less technical in nature. But I'm holding off on adding those in at this point in time. I'm keeping in my back pocket. I
think that's a good version 1.2.
You got it. So we're getting there. But yeah, that's the game in a nutshell. It's
come in an immense way in the last since you last talked about it here, anyways.
Yeah,
and you've introduced quite a few changes since I saw it just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to go as fast as I can on it. I'm having a great time with it. There's just a couple of rough edges that I got to work around, and then be careful not to add in everything in the kitchen sink. I really want to add that org chart, but it's like, hold on, we'll get to it. Let's make sure this is fun and playable. So, speaking of, if anybody would be interested in recording themselves doing a couple rounds through it and telling me what you think, or if you'd be willing to
and speak out loud, talk through everything that's challenging, talk through where you're stuck, talk through what doesn't make sense. And if for some reason it does seize up, inspect and show us a stack trace.
Yeah. And I do have some of that stuff working where it should be rendering errors so we can see it in some capacity. But I'm moving so fast, there are errors. Don't get me wrong. This is actually version 30 of the game, and it still says 29. So that's my fault. But yeah, feel free to hop on our Discord and chat with us. I'd love to hear what you got. If you got any thoughts or things you think I should add or whatnot, I'm curious for the actual InfoSec and cloud professionals, what your thoughts are on this thing, and what are you thinking? So I'm very curious to see what my colleagues would think. So with that said, in case you're not into video games and you need some help with your cloud infrastructure, that is in fact what we do at Schematical. Despite just making educational games we do make educational games about it, but we also do this stuff for a living. So feel free to hit us up at schematical.com/consulting. And we look forward to talking to you. With that, Dom, you got anything else?
See y'all.
Have a great day.